You know, I just felt like telling some stories about, because I just got like nostalgia being out here in Brooklyn. And this is a while back. Like, anyone that knows me knows, like, I'm super into animals and insects and spiders. And there was a time when I don't even remember how, but I found someone who had a baby male African bullfrog that he was trying, like, he basically had a bunch of them, right? This is Pixecephalus adspersus. So there's two. There's Pixecephalus edulis and Pixecephalus adspersus, right? So this was the legit one, because edulis is like a pygmy species. It's like dwarf, right? But like adspersus is the official. Those are the giant ones. Those are the brolic, like they get huge, like they eat everything, right? So he had one of them. So it was right around like Flatbush, and had me going to some, wherever he was located at, and he had it. Like love at first sight. I saw the little guy. Long story short, ended up having that frog for, that frog was like, so my bird right now is like 20 something years old. It's like going on 22 years old, that bird is, right? That frog was like 20 years old. Crazy, right? And then the second, and I'll put this on the thumbnail, right? It's not going to be accurate, but you get the idea. So this is legit, so I could talk about it. I had a venomous interim license in New York, because I wrote to the DEC, Department of Environmental Conservation. And this was when I was young. I wrote them, they deemed me as responsible, and they were like, okay, we give it to you. So like a gun license in New York is like that one. And a venomous interim license in New York State, especially when like lower part in New York, because when you go up, like past, Broome County, Greene, like when you go north in New York, it's like the boonies. It's like you got wolves out there. Like everything is like so much more lax. Out here, New York City, everything is so strict. It's like there are restrictions on everything, and they deemed me as responsible. They were like, okay, you can have guns and you can have venomous snakes. Like I kept putting things on the list. I was like, okay, I want a cobra, I want a king cobra, I want a black mamba, I want eastern diamond rattlesnakes, western rattlesnakes, I want African forest cobras. I just kept like everything I wanted, Thank you. I hate you too. And eventually I got it. The DEC deemed me as responsible, and I went out and I started purchasing them, and so tying in Brooklyn, like I came out here to Brooklyn and it was this dude. Keep in mind, I also got taipans. So anyone that knows their stuff knows, like I had Papua New Guinea coastal taipans. I'm kidding too, bro. That's why I was laughing. But I was just, so anyone that knows their stuff, if you know what a taipan is, you'll know These are, thank you. I'm sure you are a good person too. They are one of the most, they're like top 5 of most deadly snakes that exist on the planet, right? And I had one of them. Had the white face with the red eyes, grew to like almost 14 feet long. This thing, like, and when it strikes, it only strikes for your face. It doesn't, hi Ariella, it doesn't strike for your hands. Like if you put your hands, hi Diana, if you put your hands near it, it doesn't even pay attention to your hands. It just goes for your face. It's only looking for your face to strike. And that's what I had. With the white face and the red eyes, right? And then the body was dark, iridescent with like the beautiful, like glittery, like piranhas. I had piranhas, so I had a piranha permit, right? So anyway, long story short, come here to Brooklyn and I go into this dude's apartment. Yo, so he had a pair in herpetology. We call like venomous snakes, they're called hot or hot herps, right? They are definitely beautiful and scary, you know? And I went in there, he had 1.1, which is basically a pair. That's like a breeding pair. Like to the left of the decimal, if I'm not mistaken, is the male, and to the right of the decimal is a female. So that's 1.1. So it was a breeding pair, right? And they were, these were the southern race from Namibia in Africa, right? Gorgeous. Like these were rare. Like they had the blue eyes and they were a little bit more pale than the normal black mambas. And he had like these young ones. And it was like, and keep in mind, I also copped the taipan and king cobra from Indonesia, a 7.5 footer from Pennsylvania. They're legal out there, right? Like at reptile shows, you get them legal. I don't know if this is gonna cut off. We'll see, because the last 2 lives, they stopped around like 7 minutes and change. So I don't know if this is gonna like stop or not, but I'm just gonna keep going. Whatever winds up, post. Anyways, so out here in Brooklyn, I went into the dude's apartment and he had the 1.1 on the black mambas, right? Keep in mind, I'm legit, so I can talk about this, right? Like I already said. And thank you. I will try and do these lives more often, right? So I'm asking him questions. I'm like, yo, how long you had them? Where they come from? He's telling me like Namibia, these, and I'm looking at it like the blue eyes with the paler skin. The tongue is black. That's why they call black mambas, because the tongue is black. It's not because the snake is black. It's because the tongue is black. Like a lot of snakes, their tongues are pink like us, right? But black mambas, their tongues are black. Like my parrot, it has a black tongue, right? So finally, and he had a falcon in like this enclosure, right? And then he was like, I want to show you something. He opens this door and there was this room. And in this room, it was like 20 degrees warmer in there, right? Like it was like 90 degrees in this room, right? And he had this big enclosure. It was 2 of them. And there was a 16-foot, it was either it was a reticulated python, right? And he was like, I'm gonna feed him right now. You wanna watch? So I was like, okay, what are you gonna feed him? He had a dead pig. And he was like, I'm gonna feed him the pig. but I gotta be very careful. That's why I kind of want you to be here with me, because I gotta be very careful because there's a feeding response. And if you're not careful, they'll sometimes, because the food is attached to the owner and you're about to give it to them, and sometimes they go for the hand and then they'll wrap around the human. And because the snake is so big, we're talking about 16 feet. And this is not like a king cobra that's 16 feet, right? Because a king cobra is skinny, right? It's strong, but it's not that strong. A 16-foot reticulated python, and it was massive. Like, the biggest part of its belly was thicker than my leg, right? So it's so strong that if with the feeding response, it catches this guy's hand, it will wrap around him. It'll probably kill him, and no one would even know, like, if he's doing it by himself. So he needed me there to just bail him out in case something crazy went wrong, right? So anyways, he feeds the snake, which was crazy to see. And then I winded up getting the two black mambas, the 1.1, the male and the female, right here in Brooklyn. And I brought them home. And I had those snakes for years. And they grew from like small. And keep in mind, when it's small like this, all it takes is one tag. And they get you 99. And I didn't have anti-venom at that time. So it's 99% mortality rate. You get tagged by one of them snakes, it's a wrap. Like, I don't know if I make it to Montefiore Hospital in the Bronx, because that's the only place that has the anti-venom for a lot of these snakes. So there were times when I'd be twisted. Like, I'd be either or whatever, right? And I'm messing with these crazy snakes. Anyone that knows me, they'll tell you. This ain't no, like, I swear, this almost sounds like when you hear Fat Joe, and then everyone's like, yo, he's capping because of the stories. People will tell you. Like, it was like I had the zoo going on where I was at. And these snakes, they grew from them little, deadly, tiny, cute little things to, like, both of them grew to way longer than 10 feet long. I had them for years. Censor, I don't know exactly what you're asking, but yeah, so like I said, this whole thing was about nostalgia because I was in Brooklyn, and I thought it was like fitting to tell this story at these hours, and I just said, let me jump on again and tell this story because it just brought me back to the time when I had purchased these animals, and a giant African bullfrog and a 1.1 male and female black mambas. So that's really it. Like I said, I don't know if all of this is gonna post, but that's all I wanted to put out there. Hopefully the entirety of this post and not just 7 minutes, but we'll see. But thank you for checking in. I'll catch y'all later.